The Galactic Council convened in the Grand Chamber of Golaris Prime. The room was a swirling symphony of colors and alien voices, resonating with centuries of tradition and authority. Delegates from every corner of the known galaxy filled the towering spires, each one carrying the weight of their respective civilizations. Humanity's representative stood alone in the center, a figure of defiance amidst the sea of alien grandeur. Ambassador Renna adjusted her suit, her gaze steady as she faced the council. The Eldari High Speaker rose from its crystalline perch, its form shifting and shimmering like liquid glass. Today we address the repeated provocations of the Terran species. It spoke with a voice that seemed to echo in every direction. The room fell silent as countless eyes turned toward the lone human. Renna did not flinch, her voice carried across the chamber, steady and unwavering. Humanity acknowledges the charges brought forth against us. We are accused of overstepping our bounds, of reaching too far into the void, of daring to claim what others have abandoned. The Grelic representative, a mass of writhing tentacles, emitted a guttural sound. Is that not precisely the issue? You disregard our warnings, you trespass into territories long claimed. Renna took a step forward, her boots echoing on the polished floor. Humanity has trespassed into nothing, she said, with steel in her tone. We have reclaimed, we have rebuilt, and we have dared to do what others have feared. A murmur spread through the chamber. The council was unaccustomed to such directness. The Valaric emissary, a towering insectoid, clicked its mandibles in irritation. You humans disrupt balance, it declared. Your innovations destabilize ancient accords. Renna tilted her head, her expression unyielding. Your accords have stagnated progress, your balance has preserved decay. Humanity offers no apology for seeking a future among the stars. The Eldari High Speaker leaned forward, its form shimmering with tension. And what future is that, Ambassador? Expansion at the cost of war, growth at the expense of others. Renna met its gaze, unblinking. Humanity's future is one of survival, prosperity, and unity. We do not seek war, we respond. When challenged, we do not conquer, we adapt, and when the galaxy turns its back on possibilities, we seize them. The room erupted into heated debate, voices clashing in a cacophony of accusations and defenses. Renna stood amidst the chaos, unmoved. She knew this was not just a trial of humanity's actions, it was a challenge to humanity's very right to exist among the stars. Finally, the High Speaker raised a limb to silence the chamber, turned its crystalline gaze toward Renna. Tell us then, if humanity claims to be different, prove it, show us what sets you apart. Renna reached into a small compartment on her suit, producing a holographic device. She activated it, projecting an image above the council, a barren planet slowly transforming into a thriving ecosystem. This is Calder 5, Renna said, her voice clear and firm. A world abandoned for millennia, a world poisoned and left for dead. Humanity turned it into a home, into a sanctuary, not for profit, not for conquest, because we could. The chamber fell silent. The image shifted to show human engineers working alongside alien species, terraforming the land, restoring life. The narrative was undeniable. Humanity was capable of creating, not just taking. The silence was broken by the Corvan delegate, its voice a melodic hum. You claim to build, yet you build for yourselves. Will you share your progress? Will you extend this hand to others? Renna looked directly at the Corvan, and she smiled. Humanity has always shared from the beginning of our journey into space. We offered alliances, we traded knowledge, and we invited others to walk beside us. A projection of historical records appeared, showing instances where humanity had extended aid to struggling civilizations, rebuilt destroyed infrastructures, shared medical advancements. The council could not ignore the evidence. The Eldari High Speaker shifted again, this time with a slower, deliberate motion. Humanity stands at a crossroads, it said. You have shown potential. But potential is not trustworthiness. You must prove that your actions match your words. Renna nodded, her resolve unshaken. Humanity understands the weight of trust, and we will earn it not with promises, but with actions. The chamber descended into deliberation, each representative sharing their thoughts, debating the implications. Hours passed, the weight of the decision hanging over everyone. Finally, the High Speaker addressed the assembly. The council will vote on the matter of humanity's standing among the stars. You have been given a chance to prove your worth, Ambassador Renna. We shall see if you truly belong. Renna stood tall as the votes were cast, the decision was not immediate nor unanimous. But when the final count was announced, humanity had earned its place not as a subordinate, but as an equal. The chamber's atmosphere shifted, the weight of animosity lifting, replaced by cautious optimism. Renna exhaled a breath she had not realized she was holding. The journey was far from over, but humanity had taken its first monumental step. As she left the chamber, her communicator chimed, the voice of her commander breaking through. Renna, how did it go? She paused on the steps of the council building, gazing at the distant stars. We made them listen, she replied, and we're just getting started. The universe had underestimated humanity, and the day they stunned the stars was only the beginning. Renna walked out of the council chamber into the sprawling avenues of Golaris Prime. The city gleamed with alien architecture that defied human comprehension, yet even in this awe-inspiring alien world, she felt the weight of Earth's history on her shoulders. Behind her, the council's decision echoed not just as a verdict, but as a warning. Humanity had earned its place, but the cost of maintaining that place would be vigilance. Every step forward would be scrutinized, every mistake amplified. The galaxy had granted them a chance, but it had not granted forgiveness. She stepped into the human embassy, the polished metallic halls reflecting her determined face. Her team was already waiting, engineers, diplomats, and military liaisons, their faces a mixture of relief and anticipation. Commander Jacobs approached, his rigid posture softening slightly when he saw her. What's the verdict? Renna stood straight and let her voice carry through the room we're in. But this isn't the end, it's only the beginning. They'll watch us, they'll test us, and they'll wait for us to falter. A murmur swept through the group. Some nodded resolutely, others exchanged uneasy glances. Jacobs crossed his arms. Well, that's not new. Humanity has always faced challenges bigger than ourselves. We're still standing. Renna allowed a small smile. Humanity doesn't just stand, we rise. She turned to the holographic projector in the center of the room, activating it. The image of the Milky Way galaxy spread across the room. Points of light marked the positions of the known civilizations. Humanity's sphere of influence was but a speck on the map. We've been given a chance to prove ourselves, she said. This isn't about power or dominance, it's about showing the galaxy what humanity truly is: builders, dreamers, survivors. One of the scientists, Dr. Call Singh, stepped forward. If we're serious about this, we need to accelerate Project Horizon. If we want to make a lasting impression, we have to show them what we're capable of. Project Horizon was humanity's most ambitious endeavor, a Starforge capable of constructing ships, habitats, and entire planetary ecosystems. It was a beacon of ingenuity and cooperation, drawing on the best minds from both Earth and allied alien species. Renna nodded. We need Horizon operational within the next cycle. We'll allocate resources, reassign teams, and reach out to any allies willing to help. The room erupted into a flurry of activity. Orders were given, teams dispatched, plans revised. Humanity was no stranger to working under pressure, and this was no exception. Months turned into years. Progress on Project Horizon became a symbol of humanity's determination. The Starforge orbited the barren world of Epsilon Theta, a planet chosen for its proximity to galactic trade routes and its harsh conditions. Humanity wanted to make a statement. If they could build here, they could build anywhere. The galaxy watched, some with skepticism, others with curiosity. A few even offered support. Small but meaningful gestures from species who saw potential in the human race. When the Starforge was completed, it was more than a technological marvel. It was a testament to unity. The first ships built there were not for humanity, but for the Xyloran people, whose fleet had been decimated by a natural disaster. The act was deliberate and bold. Humanity gave without asking for anything in return. The council took notice when the Xyloran ambassador spoke at the next assembly. Their words carried weight. Humanity has shown what it means to give without expecting. They have taught us that strength lies not in taking, but in sharing. The Eldari High Speaker regarded Renna during the assembly. It seems humanity is determined to surprise us. Time will tell if these actions are the foundation of a legacy or merely a fleeting strategy. Renna's reply was simple and firm. Humanity does not build for today, we build for tomorrow. As the years passed, humanity's influence grew, not through conquest, but through cooperation. They shared their knowledge, helped terraform uninhabitable worlds, and extended their hand to civilizations that had long been ignored. The galaxy began to shift. Where once there was skepticism, there was now cautious admiration. Humanity had not just earned a place among the stars, they had begun to change the very fabric of galactic society. Decades later, on the anniversary of the Council's decision, Renna stood once more on Golaris Prime. This time she was not alone. Behind her stood representatives of dozens of species, all of whom had benefited from humanity's actions. The Eldari High Speaker addressed the assembly. Humanity came to us as an outsider, bold, reckless, unyielding, and yet in the years since they have proven something remarkable. They have shown us that even the smallest spark can ignite a flame that lights the galaxy. The chamber erupted into applause. Renna felt a deep sense of pride, not for herself, but for humanity, for what they had overcome and what they had become. That night, as she looked up at the stars, she thought of Earth and its humble beginnings. She thought of every challenge, every setback, every moment of triumph. Humanity had not just stunned the stars, it had become a beacon among them. And in that moment, Renna knew their journey was far from over. The stars were vast, the challenges endless, but humanity would face them all together as one. Renna remained on Golaris Prime long after the celebrations ended. The streets were quieter now, though the city still pulsed with life from countless species coexisting in its sprawling districts. The humans who walked beside her had grown accustomed to the mingling of cultures that had once seemed so alien. In the days following the anniversary, she found herself reflecting on humanity's journey. The path had been fraught with obstacles, resistance from the Council, resentment from older species, suspicion from even their allies. Yet humanity had persisted, and that persistence had begun to ripple outward. The Project Horizon Starforge had expanded beyond its original scope. What began as a single station orbiting a barren world had become a network of collaborative hubs scattered across the galaxy. They provided resources and aid to civilizations in need. Humanity's willingness to extend its hand freely had become its defining trait. But not everyone welcomed the shift. Some factions saw humanity's rising influence a threat. Shadowy groups began to stir in the dark corners of the galaxy, spreading rumors of ulterior motives. Renna and her team faced constant scrutiny. Messages from Earth warned of sabotage. Attempts on the Starforge network ships went missing. Supply lines were disrupted. Renna refused to falter. She convened her top advisors and allies in the embassy. They gathered in the strategy room hall, charts and data streams lighting up the walls. Commander Jacobs leaned over the table, his expression grim. "We have evidence of coordinated efforts to undermine our work," he said. "They're targeting supply routes, disrupting construction schedules, and trying to turn our allies against us." Drivesing nodded gravely. "Some of these groups are powerful, entrenched in galactic politics. They fear change. Humanity's rise challenges their long-standing control." Renna looked at the faces around the table, some weary, others defiant. "If they fear us, it's because we're doing something right," she said. "But we can't let this spiral into conflict that would prove their accusations." Jacobs folded his arms. "Then what's the plan?" "We show them the truth," Renna replied. "Humanity's strength isn't just in what we build, it's in how we bring others together." Her words weren't just rhetoric. Under Renna's guidance, humanity launched its most ambitious diplomatic campaign yet. They invited representatives from every species to visit the Starforge hubs, witness the work firsthand, see the lives changed by the cooperation humanity had inspired. The skeptics came reluctantly, but curiosity eventually outweighed suspicion. What they saw was undeniable. Planets once lifeless, now teeming with ecosystems. Refugees resettled in thriving colonies, trade flourishing where there had once been silence. At one such hub on the edge of the galactic frontier, Renna met with the Galactic delegate, the same one who had accused humanity of trespassing years earlier. The writhing mass of tentacles regarded her with a mixture of caution and intrigue. "I doubted your intentions," the Galactic admitted, its voice low and rumbling, "but I cannot deny what I see here." Renna inclined her head. "Humanity does not ask for trust blindly. We ask to be judged by our actions." The Galactic extended a tendril, a gesture of cautious friendship. "Perhaps we were too quick to judge These moments multiplied across the galaxy slowly, but surely humanity's reputation shifted. Even the Eldari High Speaker, who had once questioned Renna's every word, began to see humanity in a new light. One evening, as Renna walked the corridors of the embassy, her communicator chimed. It was a message from Earth. The president's face appeared on the small screen, lines of age and responsibility etched into her features. Ambassador Renna, your work has changed the galaxy, but challenges remain. We've identified the source of some of the sabotage efforts. It's time to address them directly. Renna nodded, knowing this confrontation was inevitable. Humanity could no longer ignore those who sought to tear them down. She convened a summit, inviting even the factions that had opposed them. It was a risky move, but one she knew was necessary. The summit took place on Epsilon Theta in the shadow of the original Starforge. Delegates from every corner of the galaxy gathered, their ships filling the skies above them. The massive structure stood as a symbol of what humanity had accomplished. The opening session was tense. Accusations flew, heated debates erupted. Renna let them speak. She knew the importance of giving everyone a voice. When the room finally quieted, she rose. Humanity has made mistakes, she began. Our history is filled with them, but we learn, we grow, and we do better. We stand here today not as conquerors, but as collaborators. She gestured to the view outside the window. The thriving world below was visible through the transparent walls. This is what we offer, she continued, a galaxy where no one is left behind, a future built together. Her words resonated. Some of the most vocal critics began to soften, realizing that humanity's vision was not one of dominance, but of shared progress. The summit ended with the signing of a new charter, the Galactic Accord for Unity. It wasn't perfect, and not every faction signed on, but it was a start, a framework for cooperation that would outlast any single species. Years later, as Renna prepared to retire, she visited Earth for the first time in decades. She stood on a hill overlooking the shining cities of her homeworld. She thought of the galaxy beyond the stars she had once gazed at with wonder as a child. A young envoy approached her. You've changed the galaxy, Ambassador, they said. What's next? Renna smiled, her gaze steady on the horizon. Humanity has only just begun. Our greatest stories are still ahead. The stars above seemed to shine brighter that night, as if acknowledging her words. Humanity had stunned the stars, but now they were lighting the way forward together.